How you feel about the whole changes because of gentrification? Every single block from 37th Drive all the way to Jefferson, it's got all kind of reconstruction going on. New apartments, white people living on the block, students. It's altered the face of Fruit Town Brim. Permanently,
Permanently.
Permanently.
Permanently. We seen it in the 90s though. When I'm trying to get a spot, I might got some cush or something I'm trying to push at that time or whatever. And I need a place where I'm gonna be at in the hood. It was so hard even then, you know, and we weren't even on that at that time. We was caught up on a whole nother negative atomic vibration, you know what I'm saying? Real gangbanging. In the 90s, I go to YA, 1996 for assault with a deadly weapon on a Harlem Crip at Weems Elementary, right? So I went to jail for gang banging. That's how I started out. Obviously, I'm matured. If you see me, I'm feeding the poor. I'm back to school drive with the kids because I know better, so now I do better. But at that time, when you got that type of vibration, they had these investment teams and fraternities. Hey man, this is prime real estate, 25 minutes from the airport, 25 minutes from the beach, 25 minutes from Hollywood. This is prime real estate. And they went on it on a business move. And it's definitely gentrification because, like I said, the laws and politics that went behind getting a lot of the people over here more increased time, tearing up the family structure, it contributed to tearing down the black family structure in this community.
Now you mentioned Weems Elementary. That's right smack dab in the middle of the hood, right? What is that on Budlong and?
No, that's Catalina.
Catalina and 36?
Well, if you go to the front of it, yeah, the sign is on 36. But the back of it's 37th Street. Then you got Raymond, you got Catalina, but Budlong is like closer to the front.
Yeah, Budlong kind of intersects it, right?
Right
yeah.
there on that side of Weems.
So was that one of your childhood schools?
Yeah, I went to Weems kindergarten, right? Second grade or first grade, I transferred to Kelso Elementary in Inglewood. We moved to Inglewood. Second grade, my mom, she was bookmaking at that time. You know what I'm saying? So she got arrested for it. She picked her family over all of that money, but so it wasn't just hot dogs and beans every day for every meal, you know what I'm saying? Now we could go to Sizzler or something. The quality of living went up. Even better education in Inglewood and then ultimately in Gardena. My mom stayed moving away. She wanted to get away from LA and keep her kids over there. But at about 13, it was a wrap. I was back over here. 14, I'm gangbanging. You know what I'm saying? So I go to YA, I did all the shit in YA. That shit was, I don't even really want to talk about that because it ain't nothing to brag about. But that's gladiator school.
Now, you went in during the kind of final years, the final era of YA, right?
Man, so I initially started at Preston, right? I went to Preston pre-camp. I got into it with an East Coast nigga over a nigga from Sacramento, but we ain't even gonna get into that. He didn't take the fade, and I'm just on some, we got the same face, I got the fade, you know what I'm saying? And I get kicked out of pre-camp. They sent me to NA Chad, so I started my whole bid really in Chad and Stockton, California, up north. From Chad, I paroled in '98, and it was popping. You know what I'm saying? The homies was strong now. By this time, all those taggers we hung with, and that's just not in the Fruit Town, it's a lot of different hoods. Those taggers in the 90s started joining the ranks of these organizations. I'm not gonna call them gangs because I believe that they're more like tribes or villages. You know what I'm saying? But for the people's terms, so-called gang members, right? They got an influx into their ranks in the 90s through that whole tagger scene. The NBT over here was the GTI. That's who I started with. That's who Sean started with. But my little brother Booger, his father, he started with the NBT Troubles, who it started off cool with the GTI, but they ended up beefing. Booger went to YA when he was young. When he came home, I told him, ain't no, they Crips now. Like, ain't no more rolling with them. You from the hood. You know what I'm saying? So that started a whole nother era. You got Booger Brim, you got Brim Bone, you got Lil Killer Jess, one of my other dogs. They had hitters over here. D-Ray the Gangster, rest in peace. Young dudes, they getting to the money. You know what I'm saying? That's what we really was focused on when I was coming up over here. You had gangbangers who was on that. We sliding across the train tracks a couple of times a day. That was gangbanging. But you got dudes that's in the community that this is just where they grew up. Yeah, I'm from Fruit Town, that's all I know. This is my family, this is my village. You know what I'm saying? So it's a difference between a gang member and a gang banger. So I do want to say that.
Now you went to YA for a shooting in front of Williams against the 30s. Over here in this part of LA, they're like the only Crips that are really close by to you.
Well, the 40s on the other side of
King, right? You have to go.
Yeah,
but,
dark side.
But you can just walk. And
then the park side's really over there. In fact, Tubu Gangster, the first recruit I had to Fruit Town Brim, I was the youngest TGV when I joined, me and Red Flag. So Tubu the Gangster, he lived across the street from Vermont Square Park. You know what I'm saying? They broke his jaw. He was one of the homies, he used to fuck with the Sherm, burnt out, didn't give a fuck. He was crazy, he was really mad, you know what I'm saying? But loyal brother, he doing 15 free Tubu the Gangster, man.
Okay, so on the other side of Exposition, I heard back in the day there used to be some fruit towns on the Layton Street.
No, they still on Layton.
They still there?
Yeah.
Okay, but they also
they own like 4 or 5 houses on Layton.
But the 30s kind of have a presence on the other side of the tracks too, don't they?
I don't know now. You know, I'm not in the field. You understand what I'm saying? When I first started, you know what I'm saying, they had a presence over there. You had hitters too, right? Slowpoke, Lil AC. They had between Normandy and Vermont, that was their hood. And that's one of the reasons I had started the Hit Squad. So when you hear on Hit Your Brimming, I say it's the Hit Squad Don. The name is Duse Ms. I started the Hit Squad specifically to take the 9 back over there from the Harlem, which we did. I don't know what it is now. I know that the homie's still on Layton. I know the homie's still on Rolling Curtis. You know what I'm saying? Because they own property there. Remember I said this is a family thing. So unless you've been here for decades, majority of these dudes is tied to families that I ain't finna put their family out there like that, but just like mine, the Sims. Like those is last names that are embedded into this community.
Now, other side of Normandy, you can't get any closer. A rival can't get any closer than that. 1 block.
Be safe, man. I'ma call you.
Other side of Normandy, it don't get any closer than that.
Right.
And from what I understand, there's a lot of family ties on that side as well, especially with the Belizeans.
A lot of them. Going and through like junior high school at Fauché, you see them ties a lot. In fact, rest in peace, Tiny Spook from 20 used to be C-Cat from Harlem. He was Belizean, he was related to Bear and B-Dog and Baby Spook and them. So that's one of the ways he ended up turning NHB, 29th Street, rest in peace. And that's a dude, he was so crazy and wild once he turned, proving himself. I really, really had a bond with him. We went to Woodstock reunion right here at the LA Coliseum. You're Belizean, so you already know about the culture with the weed, so it was perfect. We got hippies out there with different kinds of strands of weed. Just want to, you know, enjoy that whole element. But I did that with Tiny Spook before he got killed. You know what I'm saying? He didn't live that long. In 1995, he was murdered at the hand of a rival gang member. That was a big war. He was also related to Big B, rest in peace, Big B. You know what I'm saying? Who started pushing the label and all